Yeah, I'm ready. You ready? You guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready. You ready? You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay, 7:30. Time for the North City School District Board of Education, a regular meeting. This is Tuesday, February 9th. Roll call, please.
Mr. Linder.
Here.
Mr. Moore.
Here.
Mr. Ritzenfeller.
Here.
Mrs. Challenger. Here. Mrs. White. Here.
And the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Section C, adoption of the agenda. Nothing to add, George. Roll.
Make a motion to accept the action agenda.
Thank you, Mrs. Wicks. Have a second? Thank you. Mellinger, is there anything else to add? I guess we're all set to go on here, so roll call, please.
Mrs. White.
Yes.
Mrs. Challenger.
Yes.
Mr. Linder.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yep.
Mr. Ritzenfeller.
Yes. All right. Next section, educational spotlight, multiple school rocks program. Our principal, Mr. Schwartz, is here.
Hi, y'all. How we doing tonight?
Great.
Great. Getting used to this math thing. I don't know about you guys. Whew, I'm trouble breathing during this all day long. So, I usually bring students with me to these board meetings because the focus needs to be on them, but this is kind of a special program, and I don't think it'd be appropriate to bring these kids to school. I know it's about the ROCK program, but I'll give you a little bit of history behind how this came to fruition. As you know, we teach social emotional learning lessons. There's a curriculum for social emotional learning that we have to teach. And a couple years ago, the BLT and I got together and we dug deep into how we were going to teach social emotional learning in school. So we came up with a plan. We drilled down, found some resources to use in the classroom. And our initial plan that we put into place last year was to present 15-minute social emotional lessons every other week in the hour-long period that we had in the middle of the day. And that seemed to work out pretty well. We were dealing with the 5 strands of social emotional learning: decision-making, relationships, self-awareness, social awareness, self-management, and getting down to basically decisions that kids are making, how they're behaving, and what they're doing in school, getting along with other people. And it was fantastic. But the problem was that we were looking at a 15-minute period every other week, and a lot of times the teachers were having great discussions with kids, and that was digging into the classes they were wanting to teach. So we looked at our master schedule last year, and we built in a homeroom that the kids go to every day of the week. So in the middle of the day, they go to 15 minutes of homeroom, and then they go to lunch right after that. And we adjusted the schedule, and now we're able to present these lessons to the kids on a daily basis if need be. But we have found that we've presented these lessons, we get the discussions going. Sometimes the discussions are lasting all week long. The kids want to come back the next day in homeroom, continue to talk about it, which is great because now they're opening up. They're actually getting down to what we want them to do and have the good discussions one-on-one with each other, with the teacher. And it's done a great job of building the relationship between the students and the teachers and knowing them more than just the students for science, math, history, social studies, so on and so forth. It's been working very, very well. And I'm getting nothing but positive feedback from that. And on top of that, it's a great decompression for the kids in the middle of the day. If we're not doing the social emotional lessons on that day, the kids are coming in, they're reading a book, or they're finishing up some homework that they have to finish up. And it's funny, I've had to sub in a lot of classes, you know, with our sub shortage, and I'll go into a homeroom and I'll sub, and the kids, in a lot of these classes, they come right in and they know what they're doing right now, and they sit down and they're doing it. And it's been very good, especially at lunchtime, that decompression 15 minutes to themselves. We've had very few discipline problems during lunch. And the discussions that we're having, and they're starting to open up with each other, I think that's a lot to do with it. Now, this leads into our ROCKS program. Now, the ROCKS program, that is something that's been funded by the Student Wellness and Success Funds that was given to us from the state. And this is really in Mrs. Timke's wheelhouse, our school counselor. What this program did a few years ago is it surveyed 10,000 girls in the nation. It was the first study in the nation of girls and what is going on in their lives and what's really making them tick and the struggles that they're having nationwide. And what they found was 46% of the girls do not feel smart enough to actually have their dream job. They found that 1/3 of them, that even if they had that job, didn't want to appear bossy because they're female. Then half of them didn't want to speak their mind. So this program, ROCKS, which it really stands for Ruling Our Experience, is a program that they put together to develop confidence in young ladies so they can attain their goals. And we wanted to start it young. A lot of the research was that they looked at social media. That was huge. A lot of the girls found that on social media, they were using that as an escape because they weren't feeling the self-worth in the classroom. And they looked at, these kids were spending up to 6 hours a day on social media. And that's where they would go for their outlet. And from that, though, as you know, with social media, became a lot of stress and depression. 5 times the amount of depression that you've seen any other time. Couple that with what we're seeing at the middle school right now, especially with social media, is in the last 3 weeks especially, I don't know what something triggered, we're seeing a lot of distress in these kids, and we're talking to them, and Mrs. Timke's doing a great job of talking through what's going on in social media. Now, this ROCKS program is a 20-week program. There's a lesson every week. So this year, Mrs. Timke really got to know her kids. And it costs about $75 a kid, plus the training. She went through training last summer. She identified 10 7th graders and 10 8th graders that would be perfect for this program. Now, the kids had to sign a pledge. Their parents had to sign off because, you know, yes, it is SEL. It's part of the curriculum. It's part of something that the state wants us to do. But the parents had to sign off that they were willing for them to be in the program. And they have been meeting now for the last 5 weeks. 20 weeks, we want to make sure we get it through the end of the school year. And they've been having a great time. And it's going very, very well. We're hoping that we can build the program a little bit more next year. I know it's $75 a person, but in some way, shape, or form, if we could grow it more, that would be beneficial to the middle school level. Overall, it's been a happy time. It's been great. The kids love going there. We put it in the middle of the day. It's on Wednesday. They got the special ROCKS pass. They can go get their lunch. They can take their lunch with them to the ROCKS meeting group, and they sit and they talk, they do the lessons. It's been fantastic. So that's our middle school ROCKS program and our social emotional learning. Thank you.
Section 3, we're going to welcome Dustin Klotting from the nutrition group to give us an update on how things are going in the cafeteria.
All right,
Welcome.
thank you. Evening, everyone. Just a quick point, filming with me, that is Andy Bennett, who is the engineer under overseeing everything on this group as well. I brought him along because he's one of the things. Yeah, just a quick update. We've made quite a bit of progress so far, definitely in the high school. We've gone from 1 serving line, where the average time for a student to go through the line was about 20 to 30 minutes. And with their lunch period, not much longer than that, some kids in their lunch and eating good and feeling rushed. So we have it up to second line. Now the average time for kids to get through is we've noticed increased participation from that. And it's more kids that haven't seen at the start when they got here at the start of January. to now, there's more diverse kids coming through, which is, the goal is to get everyone we can to come through. Coming here in the near future, we're going to introduce more back in the high school, but some of the kids still feel like they want more food. Unfortunately, with the SSO program, health benefits, being able to provide a second meal is not relevant without having a financial too. Hopes, in a week or two, we should be able to do that. We're waiting to fill one position, which we have to use first. Once we move a candidate, we'll be able to move at least one person around so we can register and get back one plus, make it a little easier for staff. $50 part savings, we're also going to be able to introduce pre-pack salads, wraps, hoagies, give a more diverse selection. It hopes that we're going to have something that every student's going at least that way we know they've had a meal, we have their nutritional requirements. In middle school, we started focusing on batch cooking. We're trying to make everything in the morning and then getting that thing set up and shut it out. We have a plan in place to change the times for delivery, to increase the quality, increase the quality of the product that gets there. Because Pleasant, for example, they don't start their lunch until noon. First thing is at noon, and if the food is sent out at 9:30, it sits there for a minute. It has where food's available. It's not a bad thing. We did discover we're enrolled in the DoD program. A quarter of your funds from the commodity orders are in it. We've started using it, which means our students will have more access to fresh fruits and vegetables on a daily basis. We augment the menu to help incorporate that. So instead of them getting canned peaches or pears, on can, actually get a whole pair of fresh broccoli, baby carrots, and different assortments of vegetables for their meal as well, which hopefully helps increase their nutritional content. That's, for the most part, that's kind of where we're at. Where we're going, we're looking at trying to find more menu options that are able to staff. Just staff count, 2 kids are our primary focus, but we do want to focus on the staff who do want to participate, which my staff members currently have. From the start of January to current, we've had about 17% increase. I know it's hard to gauge due to who's out being quarantined and constant influx of population. And still, when I see 17% of that, it is that's pretty much what I have for you.
Any questions?
Offhand, our staff, are they handling everything? Is everybody throwing it?
We are working through it. A lot of staff are all on board. I will give a shout out to the high school leads. They are phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. We've actually got compliments. Received an email from a staff member last week saying that they've been doing on it. It's wonderful and heartwarming. Most of the staff is handling it very well. But change in some people. It's just hard to do change. Not terribly resistant.
Anyone else? Thanks, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, item number 4, public participation. Each person who wishes to address the board will be asked to give his or her name and address. Remarks will be limited to 3 minutes in length. After everyone who wishes to do so has an opportunity to speak, then additional comments can be made up to a total allotted time of 30 minutes. Is there anyone here in the audience like to address the board tonight? Okay. Item number 5, treasurer's report. Joyce?
All right, so we start off with the January 2021 financial reports. The big thing in January was our school district income tax. The payment came in. It was actually $24,046.65 more than the same quarter last year, so that was really good news. October, November, December is what the payment was for. It arrived in January. So for the first 3 quarters of the fiscal year, we're now only around $60,000 under last year's amount. You remember our first quarter was way under. We were quite concerned at that point, but it has bounced back. So as of right now, we're just under $60,000 from last year. So that was good. Casino revenue also came in January, came in at $74,853, which is $1,461 to the positive from last January, but for the year, we're down almost $37,000. Casino revenue only comes in 2 payments. It comes August and January. And the August payment, they still was from the preceding 6 months when the casinos weren't open. And then when they were open, they were closed in the evenings. So there's a little bit there. So we'll wait and see what the next one comes in. That's it for this fiscal year, because the next one won't arrive until August. I can't really say that we want to increase casino revenue because it's gambling and all, but it is at least something that helps supplement. So that was the good news for January in the financials. Then we have the minutes. We had the organizational meeting, and we had the regular meeting. We also had the records retention meeting. The Abel Scholarship. There's a new scholarship at the Endowment Fund for Norwalk City Schools, and it's in honor of Howard and Adele Crystal. And it's for the Abel Fund versus GED. And right now we have $300 that have been donated quite a while back for the scholarship fund. It was put into the Abel GED program. And when Donna Slack was here, still in charge of the Abel program, we had tried to find somebody to use this for, somebody to apply for it, because it's for any student after they finish the GED program that goes on to any type of second, continuing education, whether it's nursing school or community college or technical school. And we weren't able to find anybody at that point. And then the Abel program moved to eHobie, and we kind of moved away from it and not here anymore. So with the scholarship being at the endowment fund now, I would like to move that $300 from the school over to the endowment fund. It is, of course, the endowment fund for Norwalk City Schools, so it's kind of still part of the school, but separate. So that's what we have there. And I did attach to the minutes the description of the new scholarship fund. It was pretty interesting. I thought you might want to review that. Then we have Family Medical Leave Act. We have 2 employees taking family medical. We have the Norwalk Public Library trustee appointment, Sherry Ralston. There's an unexpired term from someone leaving. She's going to finish that out until December of 2024. Then we have donations. Once again, our Schlink grant. This is a really nice grant that different staff members have applied for. So we have $1,800 for the book club. You remember Lucy Holmes came in and shared with us about her book club 2 meetings ago. Then we have the robotics team. They barely applied. He received a really nice grant that he's looking to expand his robotics into the other grade levels. And then the esports program is $7,490, and they're looking to upgrade their gaming computers. So that was really very nice of the Schlink Fund. And that's actually all I have for you this month.
Motion to accept all items under treasurer's report. Thank you, Mr. Moore. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Linder. Any discussion, questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Linder?
Yes.
Mr. Ritzenballer?
Yes.
Mr. Stellinger?
Yes.
Mrs. Wade?
Yes.
Next item, personnel, Mr. Fisk.
Under personnel items for approval, first one, we're losing some very good staff members, unfortunately. We have Mrs. Clark, who's been with us for a number of years, who's moving off into retirement. We wish her well, and she enjoys that phase of life. Rubio, who had an opportunity to transition to a different position, so she'll be leaving us to go to another employment in another agency. And then Ms. Selka, who has been a phenomenal teacher with us for a number of years, it was a tremendous loss, but she too had an opportunity to move to another position to better fit her needs at this time. So we're unfortunate to lose them, but we wish them all the best. Employment of substitutes, as I've said many times, I can't thank our Norwalk community enough for stepping forward this year in our time of need. We continue to have members of our community step forward and offer their skills and talents to be substitutes within the district. So we definitely thank all of those individuals for helping us out, keep us open 5 days a week. Number 3, we have the employment of supplemental contracts. The
for baseball, track, tennis, spring conditioning. And then in our middle school, we have track under number 3 there. And number 4, under special contracts, we have more high school baseball, softball, track, tennis for boys. In middle school, our track, which I believe just finished up today, yesterday, in getting their final selections there for our coaches in track at the middle school. And number 5, individuals that we greatly value, our volunteers that fill in the gaps in all of our sports programs throughout the year. So here are our runners for baseball, track, and boys tennis. And our annual kindergarten screening will be starting soon in the spring here, hopefully for a much normal experience for our kindergartners next year, but the kindergarten screening stipend as listed. And those are the items under personnel. We have a motion to accept personnel items, all of them.
So,
Thank you, Mr. Linder. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Wick. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Linder?
yes.
Mrs. Wick?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Ritzfeller?
Yes.
Mr. Stallinger?
Yes. Motion carries 5-0. Next item, superintendent's reports.
Other items for approval, we have our first one, is our annual agreements with the Great Lakes Community Action Partnership for the education of students that are considered migrant students, that they educate on our behalf. Number 2 is a board policy that's required for the procurement of items using federal dollars. And those are the 2 items under superintendent reports.
Motion to accept superintendent's reports. Thank you, Mrs. Smellinger. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Wick. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Stallinger?
Yes.
Mrs. Wick?
Yes.
Mr. Linder?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Ritzfeller?
Yes. Items for information and movie news.
I don't have a whole lot. We're still on Zoom. Just if you want to know what's going on, just, we have an e-movie app and that's about it.
Legislative report.
I guess Joyce and I would encourage you to contact your legislators to discuss. As you know, Governor DeWine, his proposal for our next state budget is to keep us flat funded on 2019 levels, which is very detrimental to us based on the amount of money that we've lost throughout this pandemic. You got to remember that we've basically been running 2 school districts. We've been running an in-person school district and a virtual school district, and it's a very expensive proposition. We have a little over 300 students virtually, so we're committing a lot of money, to the education of those students, and the return on investment with such a small pool of students is not what we see with the rest of our district. So we're doing a great job holding the budget together. There are some federal funds coming down that will help fill some of those holes that we have. But we've spent a lot of money to stay open 5 days a week to do what we feel is best for the education of our students. So any help you can give to reach out to anyone at the state level to encourage them to fund us in a little different manner will be very helpful.
Right, and I'm saying with that, the budget process is just starting. The first step is the governor issuing his budget. He did not even address the fair school funding plan. All he did was fund us for the next 5 years. It has fortunately, though, been reintroduced in the House just last Wednesday, the fair school funding plan as House Bill 1. They thought it was so important, they wanted it to be known as House Bill 1 because it really was the most important thing. So we're hoping that, that it gets incorporated into the budget bill and that there are at least a funding formula for this going forward, because flat funded for 5 years isn't really going to work. So we'll see how that goes. They're just getting started, but we did approve a resolution approving the fair school funding plan a couple months back, and we'll be sending that back down to them to remind them that we are very much in favor of it. We hope that they address it.
I'm just going to add something on that. I belong to a group locally. We meet monthly with different speakers. We had our Carroll County Commissioner and our state rep, Dick Stein, speak. It was an eye-opener. All of us were shocked. We're frustrated on many levels. They are frustrated on many levels because there's no communication with our governor and our representatives whatsoever. He has not spoken with them Zoom, nothing since March. And as frustrated as everybody is, you know, everybody says keep emailing, keep doing this, and that. If he's not talking to anybody, I don't know what the answer is. As far as a few months ago, when we gave that report on how much money went to all the health departments, this and that, I'm making sure that I am telling everyone. Because I found out from our commissioners, Garrett County is number 7 in the state of Ohio for overdoses. Number 7. And it's just horrific. And I'm sure suicide and everything else, mental illness and that as well. So we just gotta, I think, speak louder and not louder, and really support our representatives that are out there, because they're struggling.
And Representative Stein has been a great ally to Huron County in general and to our district in general. You know, he's a strong voice for us, speaking for us and advocating for us, but he needs help.
Yes.
It's, you know, at least initial, you know, folks coming out of the legislature show that we may have some more success in the House. The Senate seems to be lining up against continuing to fund public education or funding it at levels that it should be at adequate levels. So if you can focus your energies, maybe focus them towards the Senate and continue to support Representative Stein as he's been a good advocate for us.
Yes, ma'am.
Before we adjourn, any other comments or questions? Okay, motion to adjourn. No, do that second. Thank you, Mr. Moore. Roll call.
Mr. Stelter? Yes. Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Linder?
Yes.
Mr. Wentz?
Yes.
Mrs. Wood?
Yes.